Hello, my name is Michael, and this is my devlog for Radio General. Today we'll be implementing attacks, so when two units move into range of each other, they'll start fighting. So we can see here on our screen that we have a friendly unit, who I've changed to be blue, and an enemy unit. So when I hit play, we're going to make the blue unit moves into range of the red unit, and we can see these large ugly red circles. That's going to be the range of each unit. And those circles represent the range by using triggers, and we see down here in the bottom right we have a circle collider here of a radius of 1, and that's going to be this big, if we zoom in a little we can see this little green line. That's the trigger. The actual hitbox of the unit is this other circle here that won't be a trigger. And so when the units move into range, we should be able to see which units are in range of each other, and we'll see that in this list here, enemies in range. We can see that both units are in range of each other. So how does that actually work in terms of code? Well, it uses on-trigger enter and on-trigger exit. We need to maintain a list of enemies within range for each unit. And whenever a unit enters this, trigger region, this larger circle, this gets called here on-trigger enter. And so what we do is we get the unit controller component from whatever just entered, and then we call this unit entered method that I made. And all it does is checks to see, does our list already have the unit that just entered? If it doesn't, well, we should add it to this list. And for now, we're not even going to check if enemies are friends or foes. For now, everyone's just an enemy. We'll deal with that later. If a unit ever exits our region, so if they ever move out of range, well, all we need to do is remove the enemies from this list of enemy is in range. So, now that we've got that dealt with, we now know which enemies are within range. So now we actually want to attack them. So, to do that, we're probably going to need a new method. So we will make an attack method. Alright. So since we want to shoot at anybody in range, we actually want to attack everybody in our list. And of course, maybe we should actually change the damage based on how close the enemies are, but we're not going to worry about that for now. So what we're going to do is say, for each unit in enemies in range, we should deal damage. And we need to make a new method for that. So we're going to shoot at everybody around us. So in this deal damage method, we need to pass in the unit we're shooting. I guess we'll call it the target. Okay, and now what we're going to need to do is deal some damage to them, and that damage is probably going to be based on our damage, which we're just going to use this field right now for damage. But we probably actually want to call their method actually to calculate how much damage they should take. So pardon the extra methods being used. So we'll make a method called take damage. And what it does is the unit will take this much damage, whatever we pass into it. So incoming damage. Okay. So when we actually deal damage to a unit, we're going to say, okay, target, call the take damage method on that unit, and pass in the damage that we're doing to them. And, we'll modify this later. Now, when the unit actually gets hit, they're going to take this incoming damage. Now, maybe they have some sort of defense or other negating factors, but the most important part here is just going to be, at some point, you want to decrease their health by this damage. And then you want to check to see, well, is the unit dead? And in general, if it's less or equal to 0, the unit's dead. So we probably need another method called die. Alright. So we're not going to worry about defense or ammo for now. But we are actually missing, when does the unit actually check to attack enemies? Well, that's going to be done in the update method, we're just going to set a certain speed, probably an attack rate. So how often will this unit check to attack nearby enemies? So we can make some sort of counter just to keep track of when we last attacked. So maybe something like this, time of last attack. And if time of less of attack is less than the current time, plus, actually we'll just take the current time right there. If the time of the last attack plus our attack rate is less than the current time, then our cooldown's over. And then we want to actually call this attack method. So we'll call attack then. And to keep up with this cooldown, we want to assign, well, when we last attack, well, we attacked right then. So this records, when did we last attack? We attacked at this instant. And we should be able to attack again in this case, 0.5 seconds. So we'll be able to attack twice a second. Okay. So let's check to see if that's working. Okay, we can see here that their health is steadily ticking down, and now it's gone negative, and of course they should be dying. But it looks like it's working, so that's good. One of the next things we might want to do is show the hit points just while we're playing, so we don't need to click on the units. We probably want to do some debug drawing where we just draw some stuff. So we'll just have a very simple method here. On draw gizmos, what we're going to do is say draw this label at where we currently are and show this health, so position and text. So and there we go. We can see our health is there, and it is properly updated as they shoot each other. Okay. So maybe we want a little bit more in terms of complex attacking. So maybe we want to implement some sort of ammo business. So maybe every single time we attack, we spend an ammo. So what we can do is say, okay, ammo, decrease ammo every time we attack, but we don't want to decrease ammo if nobody's actually getting attacked. So what we should only really call the rest of this method if there are enemies in range. So if enemies in range count is greater than 0, is smaller or equal to 0, we'll just return. So we don't call the rest of this method. And there we go. Maybe we also want to change how defense works. So instead of being some sort of value that can go above 1, I think we should probably change it to be percentage. So a percentage of damage negated. And maybe defense could come from the different terrain that the units are moving over. So let's incorporate defense. So when we take damage, we want to reduce the incoming damage by percentage. So this defense value is going to be between 0 and 1. So what we can do is say, okay, times them by each other, and that'll get us how much damage is negated. And if you say, okay, take the original damage and minus how much damage gets negated, that's how much new damage we'll be taking. And we'll use a new variable for that, just so we don't change the original incoming damage. There we go. Okay. And of course, if defense is 0 right now, it's not going to do anything. But if we give one of our units, maybe we want to give our friendly unit a little bit of an edge, we could give his defense, set his defense to be 0.1, and we'll set our enemy's defense to be 0. And hopefully we'll see that effect. Oh, there we go. We can see that our friendly unit is taking 1 less damage on each attack. Perfect. Okay. And we should have also been able to see the ammo of each unit. You can see it ticking down every time they attack. And that attack speed is again governed by this attack rate. So if I increase this, units would attack once every 5 seconds, which is far slower. Oh, and unfortunately, because these are public values here, changing it in this editor right here doesn't work on units that are already instantiated, so you actually have to change it out here. So if I change their attack rate in the actual editor, we'll see it slowed down. Yep, it's slow, all right. Yep, painful. All right. Maybe an attack rate of once every second is fine for now. So when a unit dies, we need to do something about that. In general, maybe we just print out some sort of statement saying this unit has died. So we'll say this dot name has died. And then we normally destroy just the object. That's the simplest. Now, because that unit could be in range of other enemies, we're now going to have to check when we do this for each loop. And as a matter of fact, you may want to actually do a call to update everybody's lists. So update every unit's enemies in range list. But we'll deal with that another day. Okay, I think that'll be it for today. Thanks for tuning in.